Nebraska Volleyball just wrapped up another match. Join former Husker Mandy Monson as she breaks down the game from the hard swings and perfect sets to the diving digs and precision passing. 93.7 The Ticket's post-game coverage of Nebraska Volleyball starts now.
Hey, everybody. That's right. It's Mandy Monson's post-game match review. It's actually a weekend review today because we did not go on the air last night after it would have been the Ohio State match because it was a little slick outside. And we decided it would be better to err on the side of safety, right?
That's right.
And do a show today. Now, here's what's exciting about today, everybody. The selection show's going on right now. What channel is it on again?
ESPN.
ESPN, you guys. Now, if we have listeners on right now, I appreciate you because you also may have on your TV the ESPN selection show. And that's right. Nebraska did get the number one spot for the tournament, which is really, really super exciting. We thought that was going to happen. We were anticipating that was going to happen, and it did happen. We got the number one seed, and our opponent for round one will be Long Island University. Did I get that correct?
Yeah. I think they're the Sharks. I'll have to double check that.
The Sharks. We're getting into it. We're getting into it right now. So, turn on ESPN, listen on the stream for the post-match weekend today, and we will cover some bracket stuff real time as it's going on. And then as well, we're just going to kind of sum up the weekend and, sum up really Big Ten play. The Huskers, obviously, I think it was last weekend, were formally crowned the Big Ten winners. But this weekend was a really great weekend, one, because we played Penn State and Ohio State and were successful on both those fronts, playing very well against Penn State. And then last night we played Ohio State, and it was also senior night, which was really, I thought was really a great night, a great celebration of the four seniors that will be finishing out their season now as the number one selected seed in the NCAA tournament. And I thought it was just a really nice ceremony that they had. The other little flavor that was kind of fun to the Ohio State-Nebraska match was former setter Fiona Nepo is an assistant coach there. She and I actually played together. She played 95 through 98. I played 96 through 99. So that was really fun to see her on the bench and talk with her after the match. But, last night's match was a good one. You didn't get to see any of it?
No, I've only what I saw on Twitter, I suppose.
Oh, okay. Well, it was a good one. One, I thought the crowd was super fun, even though it was a little slick outside last night, everybody. I hope everybody was safe, driving and getting around last night because it was a little slick. But the crowd was really good. I mean, I think everybody showed up to really just kind of cheer on the Huskers in that last match against Ohio State and really kind of celebrate the seniors. What I thought was really fun about last night's match, and if you saw last night's match and you have any comments or thoughts, I mean, feel free to post something on Facebook, on YouTube, or, send us a text. I think it's on the Starter Heyman text line. But what I thought was really cool about last night was, one, all of the seniors were starters. So Maisie Bosiger, she actually was the libero for the match last night. Ali Czech was the starting right side. And then, of course, we have Becca Alec in the middle and Taylor Landfair on the left side. But I thought that was one. I just think that's just an example of how strong of a team we are, you guys. We get to make the decision in that if we want to start all of our seniors because it's senior night, we can do that. And two, I think that's just it's just such a great way to finish out the Big Ten season, finish out senior night. And I think it's just really exemplary of what this team is, and also, how the coaching staff made that decision. Um, it was really also fun to see. I think everybody played last night. There was not an available player that did not play last night, which when you think about going into um the NCAA tournament and the fact that we could have a match where every single player on the team got good playing time, got some really good reps, and were able to really finish out the season strong. I thought that was really awesome to see. When look at the match from a hitting percentage. I'm just taking a look at how we against Ohio State, you guys, we finished up, we finished up with a attack percentage of 435 against Ohio State that hit 174. We played very, very strong. My God, Andy Jackson hit 800. Manayo Beche hit 833. Rebecca Alec hit 500. That's our middles, right? So not a bad match from the middles. When you look at the pin hitters, Ali Check hit 333. Virginia Adriano hit 714. That's our right side. So those are our right sides. And then when you look at our left sides, Taylor Land here hit 273. Harper Murray hit 250. And then Terea Sigler, who, again, just passed the ball so well last night. And she came flying out of the back beyond the 10-foot line and was productive there. She played a little bit front row. But, it was just a great night. And Skylar Pierce got in. She had 1 kill, 1 air off of 3 total attacks. But I just think last night was such a great night to end the Big Ten season and, really just kind of finish up what's already, been a great season. Totally. So is anybody making comments on the stream at all? What do we got there?
Oh, yeah. Let me look and see if we got anything. We need to refresh the text line. If not, go ahead and text in 402-464-5685. And we can get kind of some more things going there. I did have a question, especially considering Nebraska did win the Big Ten going into this weekend. Did you have any fear or thought there might be not a step down in at least, I don't know, preparedness or the kind of the stakes that were aligned in the game when you've already won the Big Ten championship?
No, I don't. No, I don't think so. And we talked about that during the Penn State match. I mean, I think what the Huskers do a great job of is being prepared for every single match. And I don't think they take a match for granted. I don't think they take a point for granted. I do think last night during the Ohio State match, though, you had seniors and players that were, I would say, soaking up the feelings and the intentionality that it was some of those players' last Big Ten match. It's not their last match because obviously we got NCAA tournament and like we talked about where, the brackets are getting figured out, right now as far as what that's going to look like for the next week or for the next 3 weeks as we, approach crowning, national champion. But I mean, I think, last night's match wasn't quite as, I think, although we were very efficient, I can't even say that. I mean, we hit 435. I think just last night's match felt more intentional around, hey, we really want to provide the support for these seniors that have demonstrated they are all great players and that have been great contributors to this team, while also, I think, getting some really good reps in for really every player that is on the team, so that when we go into tournament time, everybody's pretty much locked and loaded and ready to go.
And another thing, as I'm trying to see this, I'm starting to see the bracket fill out. So
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and mention that a little bit. So Nebraska's quadrant, right, in their portion of the tournament bracket, they're the number 1 seed against Long Island U.
Yeah.
They will take on the winner of San Diego and Kansas State in the second round. So San Diego, the 8 seed, Kansas State, the 9 seed. So that's interesting. I believe those games will be played in Lincoln. But the most interesting part about this bracket is that the 2 seed, of course, the 1 seed Nebraska, the 2 seed Louisville. So in order to get to the Final Four in Kansas City, DBK may have to go through a former team.
Interesting. Okay. All right. That is fascinating. So you're saying Louisville's going to be coming to Lincoln for the regional final?
They're at least the 2 seed. So if they can win,
Okay.
both Nebraska and Louisville have to get there. But if the quadrant is chalk, then the 1 and 2 seed Nebraska and Louisville should be playing for the right to get to the Final Four.
Okay. I love it. Yeah. I think that will be fascinating in that. I want to see what that looks like. I just want to make sure. So you're saying Louisville, what's their overall rated seed in the tournament?
So they must be among the top 8 because they're a 2 seed. So anywhere from 5 to 8. I don't think they're quite done.
You
with the
guys,
entire thing.
listen. This is what will be. This is kind of fascinating in a way. This is interesting. Sorry, I'm going back to the history books. So it's not exactly the same. However, in 99, the regional final for us to go to Wisconsin, Madison, and play. I'm sorry, this is 98. My bad. In 98, this would have been Cook was still at Wisconsin. In 1998, the regional final was Wisconsin at Nebraska. We beat Wisconsin to go to the Final Four. But then when you look at what happened in 2000 when Cook won his first national championship, he actually had to beat his former team, Wisconsin, in the national championship to win it. So, yeah, I mean, it's not unheard of to, have to, right. There's just those connections. So, yeah, I mean, I think that'll be a really fascinating regional final. That'll be a fun regional final. I hope that both Nebraska and Louisville, get to that point, and then we're playing Louisville to go to Kansas City then. So
it is interesting you bring up that team too, because that, of course, is the last undefeated Nebraska team. How would you compare the two?
The 2000 team and this team?
Yeah.
They're similar. I mean, there are similarities in the form of, in 1999, we got beat out at the round of the Sweet 16, which that was not supposed to happen. Like we were expected to go to the Final Four and contend for a national championship, and that didn't happen that year. So, and then the other similarities were that we did have some younger players on that 99 team that then became integral players in the 2000 national championship. And so I think there's some similarities in that you had disappointment of how the performance was the previous year that you won that national championship. You had some younger players that got some really good playing time. And so then when, they went through that process of, having an undefeated season and going to the national championship, it was a pretty seasoned team. And then you layer on the fact that you had a new coach, they bring a new perspective. It's a really exciting year. I think there's similarities. Are they the same team though? No. I mean, I think with this 2025 team, I think what just makes them so strong, and you could see this in the play this weekend, is we have so much depth and we have so much power at every position that it is just really difficult for an opposing team to gain any momentum on us and keep it. Maybe they can get, a string of points, or, maybe they can even, take a set like UCLA did. I think that was now 3 weeks ago. But it's just really tough with the amount of talent and seasoned firepower that we have. And then, if something's not working right, or if we do want to bring some of the younger players in, they're also very successful. So, I think it's going to be really fun to watch this Husker team um, go through the NCAA tournament, be successful in the NCAA tournament, and just really uh, honestly watch how we compete and how teams compete against us, and really do their best to find the holes that have just really not quite been found yet against this Husker team this season.
That's interesting. So, if you're kind of talking to an outsider and you were talking like the biggest strength of this team, would you say it's the depth,
I mean,
athleticism? Like,
there's
yeah.
so many, right? It's the depth, it's the athleticism, it's the uh maturity level. When you think about those two, the senior class and the junior class. So the seniors, like I talked about, are Rebecca Alec, Taylor Landfair, Ali Check, and Macy Bosinger. Those are all great players. Now, Macy doesn't necessarily, get as much playing time, but anytime you hear anyone speak of her, it's always that she's the most positive person on the court. She's always the person that, welcomes everybody to practice. She always has a great attitude. She's always, you know, um she's still a leader in that way, that I think she's able to bring a dynamic to that team that overall helps them perform. But by the way, she played libero last night, and they really they didn't skip a beat, so I think that's where I if last night was a demonstration, it was a demonstration of how good our players are that do not consistently play, the 6 to 8 players that are, the starters and that play consistently. They're that good that you can have a person that hasn't played libero all year. And yeah, the team, quiet run is smooth. Well, no, there was a little bit, but not much. And so yeah, the depth makes a difference, from the fact of you always got someone you can kind of plug and play, but it also makes a difference because we are practicing at such a high level. We are getting high level reps, no matter if we are in game play or if we are in practice play. And historically, Nebraska has had that. So it's not necessarily something crazy new, but I don't know if we've, though, had the level of talent from player one through player. I don't remember how many kids we got on the team this year, whatever that is. It's just an exceptional level. Our red shirts this year are exceptional players, and they didn't see court time except for, the red white scrimmage, and then what they're doing in practice. So athleticism is off the charts. Going back to again, then what I was talking about with the seniors and the junior classmen. So I said the seniors. So then let's go to the juniors. So for your junior classmen, you have Andy Jackson, Harper Murray, Bergen Riley, and Lainey Choboy. Like, that's insane. Those 4 players right there are the best players in their positions in the country. All of them. Not one of them is not one of the best players in the country for their position. So when you look from our senior class to our junior class, and basically everybody has a a pretty significant role. For sure, when you're talking about Taylor Landfair, Rebecca Alec, and then the 4 juniors that I just said. I think I think that is really it's like, think of like your power base. If you're like, hey, what's our power? Well, that's your junior and your seniors are your power base, and they're all, contributing heavily. So then when you get to your sophomores and your freshmen, right? I mean, those classes are strong, and you got freshmen like, Adriano that's starting, and she has gotten better through the season. I mean, it's just always exciting when she goes back to the end line and serves now, because she's got one heck of a. Have you seen it? Have you seen the serve?
I saw her in the mall the other day, but I don't know the serve.
You saw her in the mall the other day?
I think so. Yeah, there were kids asking for her.
Oh my God! How far did your neck hurt from looking up?
It's just kind of funny to see. It was kind of.
They were out in the wild.
Yeah, a little
bit. Public.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
And they paid for it. There were kids huddling around trying to get the autograph.
I would too, man. Yeah. I'd be right there. But anyway, so then you have the younger classes, the sophomores and the freshmen, which do not play like sophomores and freshmen. That's what I'm getting at. I mean, that's where, when you have the totality of athleticism, maturity, and really ability for any player to come on the floor and play, I don't think there's another team like that in the NCAA. I think that's what makes us extremely different. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
I love it.
That's what I thought. Might be a little bit of depth combined with the talent there.
I love it. Well, let's take a break, and then when we come back, maybe we can talk a little bit more bracket and see what it's looking like on the other side.
All right, let's do it. We'll be right back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey guys, it's Carly from Boyd Farm Outfitters. Farmers, you need to know about Green Eye Spot Spray. With Green Eye, we replace your existing spray boom with a brand new aluminum boom equipped with camera technology that identifies and sprays only weeds and not your crop. The boom comes with 2 spray lines, so you can still broadcast residual herbicide while you're spot spraying weeds that are up. Green Eye users in Nebraska are saving a ton of money on herbicides, but that's just the beginning. Learn more at BoydFarmOutfitters.com. That's BOECK FarmOutfitters.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Fall is officially here, and Brown's Shoe Fit has just the right style and comfort your feet deserve. Stop in to see a wide selection of all your favorite brands, including Brooks, Hoka, Echo, Keen, and many more. At Brown's Shoe Fit, they take the time to measure your feet to ensure proper fit. They also have the largest selection of Uggs and Hokas in Lincoln. Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to Nebraska Volleyball Postgame on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, former Nebraska outside hitter, Mandy Monson.
What is up, everybody? We are here talking Nebraska volleyball. We're talking the NCAA tournament bracket. And during the break, we were just sort of going over different seeds and the different quadrants of the bracket. And so, yeah, I mean, this is shaping up pretty interesting, and I think pretty well for the Huskers. We were just talking about the fact that in Pitt's quadrant, they have Michigan in their side of things at number 9 for that quadrant, Minnesota at 4, and then Purdue at 3. In the Texas quadrant, it looks like there's Wisconsin is the number 3 seed in that quadrant. Penn State as the number 8, so Penn State's in there. And then Indiana as the number 4. What are we seeing in the Kentucky quadrant?
So Kentucky, I think as we're watching live, that's the last one to come out, but we can kind of at least do a process of elimination here. And so Creighton will at least be in that because they won the Big East.
Yeah, that's right. Creighton will be in that one.
So if Nebraska's going to play Creighton, it'll be for the national title because that's on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, exactly.
Same with Texas.
Yeah,
that's definitely a historic matchup.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking, we think Nebraska has played enough Big Ten teams. They didn't put any in our quadrant.
They didn't.
They're like, we've seen that, done that.
Yes.
We don't need to do that again.
The other quadrants are littered with Big Ten teams.
Which is pretty awesome, That's what will be interesting to see is which conference has the most teams in it. Because there's that debate, like, is the Big Ten still the best volleyball conference in the country? I mean, the SEC and the ACC both had a strong showing, but I would say, yes, we are. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the next 3 weekends are going to be, pretty fun for volleyball. Very exciting. When you just think about, I was, watching just the level of talent this weekend on, at home, while I was, anxiously waiting for the Husker matches on Friday and Saturday. And, I mean, there's just a lot of great volleyball, you guys. Like, I mean, I think what's really cool about what we are seeing and going through right now as a sport, and with the Huskers leading the way, is just really the evolution of the sport. And we've talked about that, but I mean, it is just not, back in the day, right? When I was playing, it was, we were excited because they were showing the Husker volleyball matches on, public television. And now, I mean, it just reminds me of any other major sport that you can turn on volleyball over the weekend and you can watch majority of the major conferences, volleyball matches from the Big 10 to the Big 12 to the ACC to the SEC. So I think this year has been phenomenal for the Huskers, but I think for the sport of volleyball in general, and I think this NCAA tournament is going to be one that is going to be exciting. I think it's going to be very competitive. I think if you have an office pool bracket, whatever going on, you're going to want to make sure and, fill it out and participate, because I think the next 3 weekends are going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah, tournament kind of is always fun. But it's always interesting too, because the pressure that will be on Nebraska. I don't know exactly the seeds that you guys had going into your tournaments, but I know they were probably pretty high coming
pretty
off
high.
National title there
Yeah,
in
yeah.
95 and all that. So, I mean, that's always kind of the question is Nebraska with these expectations every year of a Final Four, and obviously this year undefeated, throw that on top of there. Does it add any pressure to these first round games? Does it feel like there's pressure lifted off that you're the favorites? What's kind of the attitude again? As you say, they always are ready and ready to play. But it's just, not every program has the expectation of Final Four bust, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's like not just Final Four, it's winning a national championship. But I know, I think that if you think about Nebraska volleyball and why are we able to do what we're able to do from a performance standpoint, from a winning percentage standpoint, I think in our culture, we are programmed to win. And we're programmed to think about winning, that's just the expectation that we are going. It's not a given, though. There's a difference. It's not a given that we're going to win. It's with every when I think about, going back to Coach Pettit, then Coach Cook, and now Danny Busboom Kelly, when you think about that history and that legacy of volleyball, I mean, there hasn't been a drop off, and there hasn't been necessarily, I would say, a period of time where during those different coaching staffs, during those teams, that those teams were not looking to go to the Final Four and not looking to win a national championship. So what I'm getting at is that's just in the mindset. So does it create more pressure? I don't know. I don't think so. I think what you see, though, for teams that get to the Final Four and win national championships compared to teams that didn't meet the mark, there's different, that's what's awesome about college sports, and what's so wonderful about, quite frankly, being a part of a program like Nebraska, is every single year is a different team. Every single year. You do not, when you play 4 years at Nebraska, there's not one team that is the same in all 4 years. So I think if you look at this team this year and you make comparisons, I feel like the way they've handled themselves all year, they will demonstrate that in this NCAA tournament, which is they have the target of winning a national championship. They talk about it all the time. But I think the difference is that national championship isn't going to define them if they are worthy of it or not. I mean, I think they demonstrate it on a daily basis and on a per practice basis and on a per point basis that they are making it known that they are, and that they're almost, shooting for something even beyond a national championship. And so I feel like they've handled the pressure really well all year. Now, listen, if you're playing at the highest level of college volleyball that there is in the country, there is pressure, there are nerves. But I think the way that they carry themselves and the way that they practice and the way that they go about things, they are constantly training for that. Therefore, that pressure doesn't divert them from their targets of beating opponents and eventually winning the national championship.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think especially kind of just saying like every team has these expectations. It's kind of like a program expectation. It's not like it pops up, around November. It's something you kind of carry with you throughout your whole time in the program.
It's the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's like when you're getting recruited, know that. What and I think that's it's a very, I think we're also, that's the other thing I think that throughout our legacy of coaches and coaching staffs, I think those they've been very intentional about the people that they bring into the program. And I think that's why you see the consistency from the longevity standpoint of, the performance and the win-loss records and I was at the match last night and just kind of looking at the banners and it's just known. And so when you play in that expectation every day, when you are raised in that expectation every day, you don't really know any different, right? Now, has the pressure gotten to some teams in the past, or has the chemistry not been there where we've been able to achieve the Final Four or a national championship? Yes. But I think if you look back at what specifically this junior class has done already, right? When you're talking about Harper Murray, Andy Jackson, Lainey Choboy, and Bergen Riley. Okay, so now they only know what life is like going to the Final Four, and they know what life is like having the target that they are targeting to win the national championship and not making it. And I just think the way that they have played and prepared themselves all season. Will they win the national championship? That's yet to be determined, and they have to play through. They have to, play through, the competition and, meet that mark. But I do not believe if we do not win the national championship, that it'll be anything that we did not have control. I think we've repetitively practiced, we've repetitively played. And it will be the best team that wins. And I think we'll be the best team, and I think we'll win. But I don't think they will look back on this and go, we didn't give it all that we could have, or left it on the floor.
And just to continue updating kind of on what's going on in the bracket, the bracket is full now. So we kind of know what's going on there. Interesting enough, in the bottom right quadrant, the Kentucky bracket, so again, any of these teams, Nebraska would have to play the national championship to face them. Kentucky is in that bracket at number 1. If you kind of go through Big Ten, UCLA is in at number 8. USC is in at number 4. I think that's all Big Ten teams. But more interesting to me is Creighton's in at number 3 in that bracket.
Okay.
And Utah is actually in at number 6. Creighton and Kentucky are the only teams that take Nebraska to 5 sets. I think Utah is the only other team outside in UCLA as well that won one game against Nebraska. I think anybody that's won one set, I think every team that's won one set against Nebraska or more this year is in the Kentucky quadrant.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting. And so they wouldn't face any of those teams that have won a set against Nebraska to this point in the year, unless it's in the championship game.
That is fascinating. Okay, what was the overall seed for Kentucky then?
Kentucky must have been, so they're at least one of the top 4 seeds. I think they would be. Would they be 3 in that case? Because Texas would be 2.
So Texas still got 2, huh? Interesting. Okay. All right. That is fascinating. All of the teams that even just took a set from Nebraska are in the Kentucky quadrant. Huh.
Outside of Pittsburgh, of course, who did have one. It was the 1 seed again that has their own quadrant that Nebraska could play in the Final Four.
Well, yeah, but I think we swept Pittsburgh.
3-1 from the beginning of the
Oh,
year.
you're right. They did get 1 set.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, my bad.
So Pittsburgh ruined our fun stat there a little bit, but
yeah,
that's
look,
all right.
you're expecting me to go back all the way to the
That's
first,
the first game, yeah.
serve, everybody.
Yeah.
Literally, the first match.
Yeah.
Wow, that's something.
Yeah. Who do you just kind of watching this year? Who do you think poses the biggest threat to Nebraska? I mean, would it be one of the top seeds? Obviously, pick Kentucky, Texas.
I'm gonna
Would
say
it be Louisville a 2 seed?
No, I think it would be Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah, I think it's Kentucky because 1, they took us to 5, and 2, they've demonstrated that they have the stamina to play high-level teams tough and beat them. So, for example, Kentucky did a reverse sweep of Texas in the SEC championship.
Oof.
On the 25th of November. That's why I'm like, I'm surprised. I'll have to look. I would have thought that Nebraska would have been Nebraska's 1, Kentucky 2, Texas 3, Pitt 4. I mean, I think Kentucky probably has, after Nebraska, has the second most balance, I guess I would say. I mean, Texas has has some phenomenal players for sure. But I think the setter probably overall at Kentucky is better than the setter at Texas. I think Pitt is a great team. They have a phenomenal I can't remember her last name right now. I'm blanking on it. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, she's phenomenal. I mean, they got a player that can swing at the ball 1,000 times and get 1,000 kills a match. But again, I don't think they have the they don't have the score, the position. What makes Nebraska so unique is we have literally at every position somebody that can score a point and score it pretty efficiently with power and precision behind it. I don't think there's another team in the field that has what we have at every single position, right? They might have a player that can really dominate a match, but that's why it's tough to defend against Nebraska, because if, say, you take out, let's say, well, we're going to really control Andy Jackson, which is really tough to do, you guys. She's awesome. Okay, so then that means you got to take care of Harper Murray and Rebecca Alec and Taylor Landfair and Virginia Adriano. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there isn't. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's really something. And on all of those other teams, if you can really reduce their top 2 players, there's just not as much left than when you're talking about offensive threats in players, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, if they run a 5-1, then they're setter. We have the best setter in the country. So I think all in all, where'd Stanford end up? Where did they end up?
Let me track down Stanford. Okay, so they're the 2 seed in the Texas quadrant.
Oh, you guys, that'll be interesting. I think that'll be a good match right there. Let's go over who are the 2 seeds then. So Stanford's the 2 seed in Texas. Louisville's the 2 seed in ours, right?
Yep.
Okay.
The 2 seed in the Pitt bracket is SMU.
Oh, you guys, I watched them play yesterday. They did a reverse sweep on NC State in that would be the SEC. No, they're ACC.
Yeah.
Ooh. So SMU is the 2 seed against Pitt. And then who's it against Kentucky?
And then Kentucky's is Arizona State.
I have not seen Arizona State play. That's the Big 12 champion.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So here's now we'll have a little fun. Here's who I think, if you're just like, hey, what could be a 2 seed that could upset a 1 seed? I do think Stanford could upset Texas. I don't think Arizona State can upset Kentucky. If these matchups all happen, I don't think Louisville upsets Nebraska. Maybe SMU could take out Pitt. But I do think Stanford could take out Texas.
Do you see a run at all for 3 seed Creighton? Do you think they could make a run? Have you been able to watch too much of them?
No. I'm going to be honest. I haven't.
Yeah, that's the match against Nebraska.
But I'm just going to say, just in what I've seen Kentucky do, I'm going to say probably not.
Yeah,
just with what they've done.
Yeah.
What's Creighton's overall record? Does it say?
I can pull it up.
That's okay. I think if there's going to be upsets of 1 seeds, it's going to happen either in the Texas bracket or in the Pitt bracket. That's what I think.
And then it's hard to say because Nebraska has not been defeated yet. But what do you think could cause Nebraska not to make it all the way? Is there any weakness? Was there any? Obviously, again, there's no major hole. Otherwise, it's been exploited.
3 and 4? Who's 3 and 4
for Nebraska's bracket?
Yeah. So Nebraska's 1, Louisville's 2.
Yeah. Back here. For Nebraska, so 3 would be Texas A&M.
They're a good team.
And 4 is Kansas.
Oh, they're good too. But I saw Kansas play a little bit yesterday. They're rated like 20 something. I think. Texas A&M is not bad. Yeah, because if, let's say, that whole regional plays out, then it's going to be Nebraska against A&M and Louisville against Kansas, correct? Yeah.
Or it would be Nebraska and Kansas.
Oh,
Kansas
you're right.
is the
My
4th
bad.
seed, yeah.
My bad. Nebraska and Kansas. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Kansas is not going to take. It's not going to happen.
Doesn't have the.
No, I watched them play a little bit yesterday. Like, God bless them, but it's not.
Yeah.
But I do think maybe you could have Texas A&M over Louisville. That could potentially happen. That's possible.
Not as much in volleyball, but just in sports recently, Nebraska's got their own rivalry with Texas A&M too. So that could be an interesting one.
That would be an interesting match if that happens in the regional final. That could be a little blood there.
Yeah,
maybe
heated a little bit.
Yeah, and then tell me, yeah. We would go into it too much. Listen, guys, here's what I think. I think the next 3 weekends are going to be very, very exciting. I think if you were able to successfully get your first weekend and second weekend tickets to the Husker matches, you're going to want to be there because, one, you're going to see fantastic volleyball, and you're going to see us march to Kansas City, Missouri. Here's what I want to say. Thank you, everybody that has listened to us so far this year. We're going to keep it going during the NCAAs. And as we always say, go Huskers.